What we've got to do, we've got to stop the boats coming in, because when they come here, they have to be processed, and it can be for months, it could be for years.
These people that are coming over without any documentation, we don't know any of their backgrounds.
All right, my friend, time for a bit of education. I'm going to presume that this guy was a Conservative voter over the last 15 years. So obviously he could be from another party, but I'm going to assume it was the Conservatives. Let's take you back to about 10 years ago when the man you voted for, Mr. David Cameron, announced in his 2015 general election manifesto that he was going to hold an EU membership referendum. Now, I'm presuming you also voted to leave the EU, and that is where we immediately lost access to a very, very important database called the Eurodac. What the Eurodac did, when any illegal migrant was to enter an EU country, whether that be Greece, Italy, France, even Germany, their fingerprints will be scanned and their ID will be put onto a database or whatever, because obviously you just said that they throw away their identification. Whatever name they give, wherever they say they're from, will be put on that database. The other things to go onto that database is obviously where they're from, whether they've had criminal convictions, whether they've been granted or not granted asylum in any other EU country. So what remaining in the EU would have been able to do is we would have had access to the Eurodac, the full Eurodac, which has over 7.5 million illegal migrants on it, and we would be able to filter the ones that end up making it to the UK as to whether they should be processed in the UK or not, or whether they should be immediately deported. For example, migrants with failed asylum claims in other countries are more likely not to get granted asylum in the UK, as well as migrants with criminal convictions, which we would know from being on the database. By doing this, we'd be able to process these illegal migrants a lot faster than 7 months, I think, on average it is, to process one. Some are even here for 2 years, which would end the use of asylum hotels because they'll be processed much quicker and thus reduce the cost to the taxpayer. Now, this would also stop a lot of the boats because there would be a much higher deportation rate. Therefore, obviously, people would stop coming on the boats because of the risk of deportation. There have been so many things leading up to these few years that have just accelerated this problem. For example, the underfunding towards the immigration department in the government anyway. You know, there's not enough people working on asylum processing. There's not enough border control members. So it's the fault of the Tories rather than the migrants coming over. We can't just blame them for everything going wrong. But people need to start listening and understanding that this is the main problem, that we're losing access to ways that we can easily vet people coming over, not just refusing everyone, which includes actual refugees. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Is he right or am I right? You tell me.